I'll be introducing a banking industry practitioner in his current role at UiPath. He leads banking industry practice in Europe, Middle East, and Africa region. He has over 20 years experience of superior experience in advising CXOs in the areas of automation-powered transformation. He's passionate about helping banks accelerate transformation and achieve operational efficiency. What an honor to have him here today. Now for the most powerful session today, let's make welcome Keelan Singh. A round of applause for him as he comes up stage for the final presentation before lunch. We saved the best for the last.
Thank you very much. Right, so aware that I'm standing between you and lunch, I shall be as quick as I can. I'm also hungry. Alrighty, so look, I'd like to thank Zenith Bank, and I'd like to thank all the other speakers, super interesting. So I'm going to talk to you about intelligent automation, AI-powered automation, very much a buzzword at the moment. Everyone's talking about AI. It's going to change the world. Well, how is it doing that? I'll tell you how it's doing it now and how it's going to do it even quicker in the future, right? So first of all, my job, my role, is to give people insights from UiPath's 2,000 plus banking customers. So that's 2,000 customers in the banking sector being transformed by intelligent automation, right? The logos on the screen are just a selection of these. I've got the local, I've got the global. It's my role to give you the insights from this customer base. But what is intelligent automation? Okay, I'm going to start this presentation with just a very brief overview of what this is. So, robotics, robots, automation, robotics process automation. This is software that emulates what humans do. So if you have a process that is rules-based and repetitive, people are opening systems, clicking buttons, moving data from here to there, the types of processes that we have lots of in banks, RPA can execute that work. So this is digital labor, right? If you can train a person to execute a process in a matter of minutes, you can train a robot to do it. But then where does the intelligent part come in? We've layered around these robots, which are a digital workforce, arms and legs, we've layered intelligent features, the ability to read documents, unstructured data, semi-structured data. So that's a little bit of an introduction to tech. Then I'm going to tell you about the transformation that it's driving. So in headline, this is a digital workforce that accesses the keyboard and mouse of your systems just like a person does. That's how it works. So you don't need to do lengthy IT coding and transformation. So what's the value of that? So with that technology, you have a digital workforce that will execute work 10 times faster than people, cheaper than people, doesn't make mistakes, doesn't take lunch breaks, unlike us, doesn't get ill, right? So one person can build an automated process in weeks. In a world where IT transformation takes months or years, that's transformational. So that is what leads to rapid and inexpensive digital transformation enterprise-wide. Now I'm going to give you some stats that back that up and give you some insights from our global customer base that talks about how this technology is changing banking. But first of all, the world's leading consultants, strategy consultants, are saying 44% of all work in financial services is automatable. And that AI represents a new frontier, and that the COVID pandemic helped speed up this transformation and innovation. So how are we doing against that? What you have on the slide there is a selection of 4 of our customers, just some of the leading 4, who have automated 10 and 5% roughly of their work. What does that mean? Well, the first bank on the slide there have got 10,000 employees, and 1,000 employees worth of work is done by UiPath's robots. So that's 10% of all of the work in that organization being done by intelligent automation. So that in itself is transformational. But that is before the latest hype wave of AI and all of the capabilities that that's going to drive. And then we've got a selection of other banks on there who have automated 9%, and then larger banks that have automated 4%, 3%. These are global banking names. I can't share their logos, unfortunately, don't have their permission for that. But global banking names that are doing 10, 4, 3% of all of their work digitally. That, I think we would agree, is transformation already. And AI and this current wave is going to drive an acceleration of that beyond 10%. So here's a little graph that I've done of some of our leading customers. On the horizontal axis along the bottom, you've got what's the size of that bank? How many employees do they have? And then on the vertical axis, I've marked on what percentage of work is automated. And you can see that in the smaller banks, under 50,000 people, we've got banks that have done 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10% of all of their work automated. And that's what they've achieved today. And then as you get to larger banks, the percentage is a little bit lower. It takes time to scale technology across such a large organization. But the benefits of automating 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% of your work go beyond just cost. These are some of the transformational outcomes that we've driven for banks. When you have digital labor executing work 10 times faster across hundreds or thousands of processes in your bank, you start to hit all of these transformational levers. You start to impact customer experience, employee experience, digitization rates. Risk and compliance gets improved. Robots don't make mistakes. So the title of my presentation is How AI-Powered Transformation is Transforming the Banking Industry. This is what we've done now, and it's only going to accelerate. Because the majority of the benefit that has been delivered in banks by intelligent automation up till now has been unattended robots. You don't need to know what that means. It just means it's robots that do what I told you about before. A process that is rules-based and repetitive and that you can map it, you tell a robot to do it, and it will execute it. That's what's on the left. That's what we've been implementing in banks for 6, 7 years. But on the right is all the capability we now have in our platform, all of the intelligent skills and capabilities, including AI, but also a range of other technologies, including the ability to read documents, emails, understand them, and that's just going to accelerate the rate of change. And so, where in a bank does this matter? Instead of just headlines around, this is the change we've driven, who's it driving it for? Well, I've got a simple bank structure here, and the darker red the color, you can see the departments of the bank that are benefiting from this transformation. And just a bit of further detail, I've got here on the next 2 slides the top 17 areas of banking that are being transformed by automation. There's a lot of detail on the slide, not expecting you to read it all, but just showing you that we have that knowledge from our customer base of the top areas in banking that are being transformed by intelligent automation. And that's the second slide. And these are just some key insights I'm sharing with you so you can see the department names, and if you're from those areas, you can start to see what the transformation is that's possible in your area. And so the topic of the moment is AI. What about AI? What are UiPath doing with AI? Well, we're doing 3 things. We have 3 types of AI built into our platform. There is AI built into our automation. It's what helps it read computer screens so that you can execute a process the way that a human would. Clicking those screens, understanding what's being displayed on that screen, and if a button moves, being able to track it. So that's computer vision. That's the AI that we have there. We have specialized products that can read documents, emails, digital communication, process mining. That's all powered by AI. But that's not the super exciting stuff that's in the news every day at the moment. Generative AI is. Now, we connect to all of the major generative AI vendors, but I'm going to show you the killer use case that generative AI is going to do with UiPath that's going to turbocharge the next wave of growth from 10% of all work being automated. Just think about that. 10% of all work in our leading customers is done by digital labor. And this is what's going to fuel it to 20% and beyond towards that number that McKinsey said of 44%. Let me show you. So, here's a little bit of a video of UiPath's product, whereby in the future, to build an automation, you will type in, this is what I want to automate, and press a button. And generative AI has built that process for you. At the moment, we've got developers who are spending weeks building these processes. This is going to accelerate that. And you can say, this is what an automation looks like when you're building it. And you get certain options to go and configure that and tweak it and tune it, because it's not going to be right first time. And this is all being built by generative AI, which is giving you options of how to tune this automation. And then you can say, I want to add a step. Please build me something that does this. Press a button, and it's done. So, the thousands of processes automated at certain banks and the millions of processes that UiPath executes in banks every day have been built by people manually doing it in a low-code way. With this, we'll be able to accelerate the speed of adoption 5-10 times. So, I was asked to get through this presentation as quickly as possible to get everyone to lunch. I've actually got through it as quickly as possible to get me through to lunch, but if you have any further questions, I am here with my colleague Shwetank Jain. He is our UiPath West Africa leader. If you have any questions, he sat there at the front with his hand up. If you have any questions around what we've presented today, or what I've presented today, feel free to reach out to him. His name is there, so you can find him on LinkedIn. His email address is there. And with that, I thank everyone in the room for your patience and for listening. Hope it was the best till last, and please do enjoy your lunch.